Another conundrum that I needed to solve in order to free myself of my self-sabotaging habits, of my habit to keep myself, to torment myself, to keep myself in pain, was that, or is that, I feel like having a goal is pain, and so to have a goal to achieve, for a practicality project, you got to have a goal, and if you have to have a goal, that means that you have to be in pain in order to reach the goal. And so that's one of the things, and I have already solved this. A lot of these things I have already solved through the system. The answers are already in the system, but so I have the framework, but now it's a means of getting the experience and labeling each experience with the framework, with the system that I already have, with the system of labels that I already have, to navigate them more easily. So a lot of times you'll find me asking questions that I should already know the answer to, asking questions that I already have the answer to via the practicality system, but they're just not applied because I haven't not thought about that specific situation. The better I get at applying the answers from the system to the experience, the more naturally and the more automatically it'll become with new experiences. Now, back to what I was saying. Another problem that I was having was that, to have a goal means to be in a painful situation. Now, I had already solved that problem. Now, I had already solved that problem through the answers that you see in this window right here. So I had already solved this problem, and if you remember correctly, it's kind of like a different approach to having goals. It's not about you seeking something. You're always supposed to carry a mentality of satisfaction. Now, but even though I had already solved it, this question still came up, and so I have to answer it a different way, using the same answers that are already provided in the system. It's the same answer, but a different approach to it according to what the system has to offer. And so having a goal, does a goal have to be painful? Does the goal mean that you have to be dissatisfied? No. So the way that I answered it this time through the practicality system was that it's not that you respond to the pain. It's not that you need to pay. It's not that you need the pain in order to reach the goal. Having the goal is not painful. And the way that you reach the goal is not by responding to the pain, but instead, just like I said, the pattern is supposed to be you accepting your situation, and that's the way that you release the pain, because pain is rejection. So it's not that you're rejecting your current situation that leads you to the goal. It's not that you have a goal because you reject your current situation. Is that you reach the goal and you aspire to have the goal because you're accepting the higher situation. You not reaching the goal, that's you rejecting what you're meant to do. When you accept what you're meant to do, it means you seeking or moving toward your goal. So that means that when you're moving toward your goal, you're not responding to pain. You're not acting out of pain. You're not acting out of desire. No. So there's this question, there's this common question whether you're acting out of pain, whether you're chasing your goal out of pain, or whether you're chasing your goal out of desire. When you aspire to reach the goal, it's supposed to be from your acceptance. You're accepting your goal. You're accepting the direction in which you have to move. When you're rejecting the goal. You're staying in the same spot. So when you're aspiring, when you're reaching for the goal, is you're not supposed to be acting out of pain, but you're supposed to be acting out of inspiration, out of acceptance. And that is the difference. That is a new paradigm that I have to adopt in order so that I won't torment myself continuously. So I just wanted to point out that everything that went into figuring out this problem of this last problem, there was evolution, there was acceptance, and there was premises from the primary project. These are things that are already included in the system. So nothing new was added to the system, and there was stuff that was already there. So it just goes to show that I guess it confirms the completion or the comprehensiveness of the system one, but also more importantly, it shows the importance of having a framework. And when you have a framework, you already have the answers there. So there's the importance of having a framework, because now you understand where the solutions come from and what you're doing when you're solving the problem. So that's why I have the practicality system. But more than that, also, more than it showing the importance of having a framework, it also by me using it, by me having a system, and by me pulling the answers out or comparing the answers to the system, it kind of makes me better. Allows me. It kind of reinforces my practice of the system. It kind of makes me better at using the system, so that next time when a problem presents itself, I could solve it using the system, or having all this stuff in my mentality. I could solve it more efficiently and more effectively, and just more quickly. Once you have the framework to work with, once you know all the mental maneuvers in a framework, once you have all the mental maneuvers in a framework, then they'll come more naturally and more easy to you. Now you get a better sense of practicality, where it comes from and how to achieve it. And that's one of the ways that I know that my project is coming to completion. When at first, beforehand, whenever I had these mental maneuvers, I would always wonder what they were, and I would just be in awe by them. It would almost seem like something from another world, another dream, kind of like a blessing from the sky, kind of like a divine intervention. That's what it would seem like. It was like, where does this inspiration come from? And I would always want to connect with it, and I would always wonder about its potential. Now I know that the system is coming to completion, because whenever I get these mental maneuvers, I could always identify where they're coming from, why they're showing up. I could always identify their origin and what they're good for, what their potential is. So yeah, having the framework, system is coming to completion. I can now identify these mental maneuvers more easily. So that's overall a good thing.